Hola. Hi. So, watch out. I think this is going to be an Anja rant again. I was already thinking, I think it's going to be Anja rant Wednesdays or something like that. So, today I'm going to talk about the idea that somehow I've come across a lot of things that all of a sudden are spiritual. So, to give you a very concrete example, there was someone posting something in a Facebook group here in the area that was about improvisation and theater. And of course, I was curious who was offering this. So I went on the website and it was called Spiritual Theater. And it was interesting because that person had the same training as I did in physical theater, and they combined it with the whatnot. I don't know. I haven't been, but it said something: awaken your inner spirit, ecstatic theater, and part of me gets it because I can see why, but at the same time, there's this other part of me that gets incredibly exhausted with this narrative, and where I'm thinking, why can't theater just be theater? And why can't we be doing things just for fun anymore? Why does everything has to have this deep meaning, looking for the inner spirit, uncovering the self, uncovering parts we never have of ourselves have felt before? And I think that the irony of this is when you do play theater, yes, of course, you discover things you didn't know before, but it's, how shall I say this? So when I was doing my training in London at the time, we were improvising a lot because it was according to Lecoq, and it was about connecting with your instinct. But I also remember that our school director was very strict about when we came and said, oh, and what does that mean? And how does that relate to me? And blah, blah, blah. He said, this is not of any interest here. We are actually here to develop a craft and to create something. And to be honest, I found that a huge relief. It gave this opportunity to just focus on the art and to express yourself in a way that felt good, and obviously that would be entertaining and meaningful to the audience. And everything else, in a way, the healing or however you want to call it, was a byproduct. It wasn't the main focus. And I feel there's a huge advantage to that, to focus on the creative expression versus kind of looking at what does that have to do with me, and what does it make me, and do I need to be more this and that because now I improvised this part that usually isn't in my life, blah, 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 blah. It just becomes, it just can activate very much that over-analyzing part, trying to figure everything out. And I think that if we make everything so spiritual and meaningful, or however you want to call it, you lose that playfulness. And that playfulness doesn't make any sense. And creativity and playfulness are very much interlinked in my mind. And if we allow things just to be fun, to not make any sense, to not make any obvious sense, the sense comes through anyway, or we feel touched. I just somehow have that feeling that we are in a time where, artists have to sell themselves in a way that if you buy my painting, you will have that revelation. The art can't stand for itself anymore. It has to have some spiritual dimension to it. I had someone who said to me, "Oh, your art is spiritual," and I even don't know what that actually means. I just think that there's a danger if art can't just be art anymore. And I mean, whether that's a painting, whether that's a theater piece, it kind of, I don't know. In general, I do like combining things, but I also think that there is something potentially being lost when we have to somehow. It's like as if theater wasn't allowed to stand for itself anymore, or art to stand for itself anymore, because it doesn't have, like, when you promote yourself as a life coach, you can say this, that, and the other, whereas art doesn't lean in itself towards that. There is no, in a way, sense to it. Well, I think many people would argue that one with me, but I think it's kind of a different level. It's just art is kind of a something for the soul, or however you want to call it, something we need, and but obviously also don't need as like we need air for breathing or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I confused everyone, including myself now, but I'm just a little bit tired of this making everything spiritual, and I think theater should be theater and allow us to be more playful, and any art can just be art, and you either like it or you don't. It's as simple as that. And I might end with the question, what does it mean being spiritual anyway? A friend of mine asked me that the other day, and she said, am I spiritual? Because she wanted to know whether she was spiritual because she meditates, or what is it actually? And are we not overusing that term so much that it's actually losing any kind of meaning? And maybe that's a good thing, who knows? Oh dear. Okay, this was Anja Kersten, life coach and artist. Take good care. Bye-bye. Cheerio.